Whether you're playing Counter-Strike, Valorant, or any other tac shooter, you're often faced with a question. What gun should I use? And Fortnite Ballistic is no different. Today, we're going to be answering just that. What guns are worth using in Fortnite Ballistic, and what ones should you avoid? Let's jump into it. So let's talk about how the scoring system works. It goes on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. I've assigned a word to describe all of these. 1 being garbage, do not use under any circumstance. 2 being terrible, can use for fun or clips. 3 being okay, it's not good or bad. 4 being good, it's a fine weapon to use. And 5 being the absolute best, you should be using these weapons under any circumstance. So let's jump into the first category, which is sidearms. And we'll start with the Ranger pistol, which is the default pistol you get at the start of the game. So the Ranger pistol is getting graded a 4. It's a solid weapon that's pretty easy to use. You can ADS and hip fire, and it's still pretty accurate in both. Damage is fine. It has some damage drop off, but the most important thing, especially on pistols, is that it allows you to buy armor, which gives you the ability to take more shots, and also gives you the ability to buy utility, which is very important if you have setups that you need to win the round. Next up is the machine pistol. Now this pistol is also going to go in as a 4. Mainly because it shreds people close range. It's great for multi-kills when people are rushing site. It's also great when you're rushing a site because you can kind of shred people. It's a good eco weapon when your team needs to save, but you still want to potentially get a kill because it's got such a fast cycle rate. What makes this not a 5 is it takes forever to reload, and it's really bad long range, even if you're ADSing, which is fair. If it was good long range, this weapon would be pretty busted, but it's a good. Now next up is the hand cannon. I had a difficulty rating this one between a 2 and a 3. It's pretty bad. If you have insane aim, you can make this gun work. You can do a lot of damage to an enemy long range, and it has no damage drop off, which allows you to get a headshot kill from long range. But it is absolutely horrible on rushes. With the movement in Fortnite Ballistic, it's pretty hard to track people. And when you try to spam at close range, it is awful. So in reality, either of the other weapons are good. I mean, if you can hit your shots long range, it can be fine, but it's just not a very good weapon, and so that's why I put it as a 3. Like, it's okay, but it's not the best. Now, let's jump into the shotguns, and we're going to start with the Frenzy. Now, there was a time period where this shotgun was the best gun in the game by far. Thankfully, they nerfed it, and it is pretty garbage now. The Frenzy is pretty expensive. It's just doesn't do a whole lot. It's got a really slow fire rate. For only 300 credits more, you can get a Hyper SMG, which is just a way better gun. So it can be fun for clips when you're in a tight corridor, but overall, avoid this weapon. Next up is the pump shotgun. Now this one is graded a 3. I was struggling between grading this a 3 and a 4, so it is a pretty good eco option. However, I personally think the machine pistol is better, so I graded this a 3, but it's pretty good if you know that enemies are rushing sight. It's pretty unreliable with damage. You pretty much need to be stuffing your barrel in the enemy's chest, but you can move and jump around and shoot, which allows you to do a little bit extra, and honestly allows you to get a multi-kill round, which can completely change how things are going. So know that this is a fine weapon to use if you're very comfortable with it, but overall, if you're new to Fortnite Ballistic, I'm going to put it as like it's not good or bad. Next up, we're going to look at the SMGs, and we're starting off with the Thunderburst. This is a 1. This is by far the worst weapon in the game. I'm not elaborating. This weapon sucks. Avoid it, using it at all costs. You're griefing yourself and your team. Just don't use it. Next up is the Hyper, and this is one of the best guns in the game, hands down. You should use it if you don't use it already. This is very reliable. It's insanely good for the cost. It's a great save round option as well, but it's got a super accurate ADS spray. It does good damage. It's pretty good hip fire if people are close range. Like I said, if you don't use this weapon already, you should definitely learn how to. Next up is the new Veiled Precision SMG. This one is rated a 3. I haven't had a lot of opportunity to use it all that much, but what I have learned is that the damage is fine. It's decent at mid to long range, but the recoil is pretty high and it's very expensive. Like, the Hyper SMG is better in almost every regard, so you just shouldn't ever buy this SMG. It's just not worth it. Next up is the drum gun. Now let's be honest, this weapon was almost made to just do troll or funny clips. It's pretty garbage. If you're in the best position ever and people don't know you're in a corner, you can maybe mow some people down, but it doesn't even have that much damage. It's got very high recoil. It's bad both ADSing and hip firing, and it's extremely expensive. So this is just not a gun you should ever use unless you're just trying to have a little bit of fun. Next up is the sniper rifles, and we're starting off with the Reaper. Now this one is a hard one to grade because by all accounts, the Reaper should be a 5. It does great damage. If it's a body shot or a headshot, you're getting a kill. If you hit people in the arm, it does almost all of their health, and if they have half armor, it's definitely going to kill them. The problem is that it's so expensive, and with there only being 7 rounds, it's hard to justify buying a Reaper economically unless you're smashing the opponents. Snipers in this game are just inherently not as powerful as they are in like Counter-Strike because there's so much movement that it's hard to track. You essentially need to do flicking with the op, and it's just not a reliable weapon in that sense. And ultimately, if you have enough money to get it out, you buy it and you die, you've put yourself in a horrible economic position. So it's just not that great. That's why I put it in a 3. If it was a little bit cheaper, I think it would jump up to a 4. But I also understand why if you make it cheaper and everyone starts getting one, it kind of makes the game weird. Next up is the Sovereign. Now this is graded as a 2. It can be pretty fun to use. It's got a actually pretty decent jump shot and hipfire accuracy. And if you know that both teams are playing slow, it can do some decent chip damage. Does 105 or 420 in the head. If you are very good at aiming, you can get people long range still. But it is so bad on rushes. And again, going into the movement in Fortnite Ballistic, it's just unreliable that people are going to slow peek into your corner. It's especially bad on defense. And with it only being slightly less expensive than the Hyper, it's just not a great option. Honestly, you can make the argument that the Deagle and the Sovereign are pretty close to each other long range in terms of their benefit, and the Deagle costs less, so it's fun for clips or for trolling. Lastly, we're getting into the ARs, and we're starting with the Nemesis. Now this is by far the best main weapon in the game. It's a one-shot headshot at any distance. It does good damage on body shots and limb shots. It's easy to use when ADSing. It's the same price as the Striker, but it's better. In a competitive sense, this is the best gun in the game, hands down. And everyone should know how to use this weapon. Next up is the Enforcer. The Enforcer is rated as a 4 because it's a very good long-range and mid-range weapon. It's very accurate. It does 65 damage to the body, which is pretty crazy, and it's also a one-shot headshot at any range. So if you're really accurate, you can do some serious damage with this. Even if you're not really accurate, you can do some serious body damage with this. It's pretty decent while you're spamming it. It's just not very reliable at close range, but it is a good economic option. It's pretty cheap at only 2,000 credits, so the Enforcer is definitely a fine gun to use if you feel comfortable with it. Next up is the Striker. Now, I only put this at a 4 because it's ease of use. Normally, I would actually probably put it at a 3. It's got terrible damage drop-off that just makes it kind of mediocre at mid to long range. But its benefit is it's got such low recoil, it's got a high round magazine, and it cycles bullets really fast, so you can get more bullets out quickly, which makes it a great option for high ping. But it is much easier to use than the Nemesis when you're starting out, so I can understand why some people would use it, and it's okay to use, but you should switch to the Nemesis as soon as you can. Lastly is the Burst AR. Now, the Burst is going to be at a 2. It does decent damage, but it costs more than the Enforcer, which makes it a worse option already. But again, much like the Snipers, with Ballistic's movement, it makes burst weapons not as reliable. It's got a slow fire rate, so when you get into a firefight, you're probably going to lose just off of how slow you can shoot the weapon. And there's better options that are cheaper, so it just makes the burst not very relevant. I wouldn't even say it's necessarily a good gun for clips, but it is fun to troll with sometimes. So that covers all of the weapons currently in Fortnite Ballistic. At the end of the day, it depends on what your goals are. If you're trying to be competitive, you should probably follow the ratings that I provided, but if you're just trying to have some fun, use whatever gun makes you comfortable and whatever you have fun with. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.